What's up, guys? This is the Gospel According to Mark with a C. He is I, and I am he. Just taking some time to tell you exactly what's on my mind. Hope everyone is doing well out there, staying sane. Listen, guys, I want to talk about this Pedro Pascal mini controversy that's been going on. I wasn't necessarily going to make a video about this. I already talked about it on Twitter, but my good friend Drunk 3PO said, make a video, Mark. And, for him to have confidence and faith in me, it means that he must believe I can bring something to this topic that could be useful. So I'm going to try to live up to my good friend's expectations here. Speaking of Jay, Drunk 3PO, guys, you should go check out his new channel, Jay Walking the Planet. All right. Now this, I'm not saying this for nothing. Bear with me. All right. This is a very good channel where it just shows our good friend Drunk 3PO Jay, and he's going around, he's literally pretty much walking the planet. He's going from place to place and, showing the conditions of other people and how we can help and, how he's going around just trying to make a difference. And I would imagine that getting a worldview like that is very, very helpful in the development of a person and in their soul and in their mind and, just their compassion because, I've known people from all over the world, just in my experience, coming up in the area of New York that I came up in, I got to meet a bunch of different people. It's like my best friend in high school came from Pakistan. And it always stuck with me. He told me the story about how his family had to actually flee the country when a new power structure came in, a new regime, because his father was he was a well-known journalist, and I've been talking about journalists and journalism. In other countries, you don't have the kind of freedoms that we have here and that we take for granted. So when the new power structure came in, his father had to pack up his family and they literally had to make a run for it because he was more sympathetic to the old power structure. And the new power structure wanted to make sure that anyone who was sympathetic to what came before was eliminated, whether they were imprisoned or whether they were assassinated, which was a very real threat, to this man and his family. So my friend's father had to pack them up and get them the hell out of here. And where did they come? They came to America, because we have those freedoms here to actually express differences of opinion. My ex-mother-in-law told me the same story. She and her family came from Guyana, and Brazil, South America. And they left because things were changing, and it wasn't safe for them to be there anymore with different views and opinions, So, the reason why I tie this in is because once you get that larger scope, you start to realize how we're in danger here, because you can't help but look around and see where we're heading these days, where people are just not tolerating other people's differences of opinions and views and convictions and things like that. And we're seeing it every day on social media. Now, people say, oh, well, Twitter's not real, social media is not real. But you know what? People's sensibilities are. So they're bringing this stuff and they're putting it out there and they're finding an audience. They're finding people who are joining in the chant, to cancel, cancel, cancel. They're drooling with all of this stuff, so there's a danger here. And then you have smaller channels, like mine. And, I'm going to show you what you're afraid of. When I come on to my YouTube page, I every day, I don't know how many subs I'm going to lose, views being down and stuff like that. It's like, I understand, man. I understand how this game is played and everything like that. But like I said before, I'll show you the danger of what you're seeing with smaller channels and voices like mine. I'll show you what the hell you're afraid of. So Pedro Pascal, right? He went onto his Instagram page, right? And his way of answering to what's happened with the elections, Joe Biden, they're declaring him the winner and things like that. It hasn't taken long for people to start dancing in the streets and rubbing other people's faces in it and all of that stuff. And for some reason, they feel the need to demonize people who were supporting Trump, in the worst possible way. So he makes this meme, and it says here, losers in 1865. And then it's got a picture of a rebel flag next to it, the Confederate flag. And it says under that, losers in 1945. And it's got a picture of the Nazi swastika. All right, okay, you're following now. And then under that, it says losers in 2020, and it's got a picture of a MAGA hat, Make America Great Again hat, which of course is an indication of the Trump administration, the Trump campaign, and those who followed him. All right, so basically he is taunting Trump supporters, of which I would imagine there are many in his viewership, on The Mandalorian, and as usual, these Hollywood types, they could care less about the people who are actually supporting them and watching their show, all they care about are their own political views and whatever narrative and power structure they're trying to put out there. And they're being tone deaf, like totally not caring about the differences between the people. Of course, those of us who are into Star Wars and Star Trek and Doctor Who and Lord of the Rings and, all of the things that we watch and support, they don't seem to understand. These things are our escape. We are people of imagination. We understand the ills of the world and things. So we create and look to things like this to take us away for a little while. You know what I mean? But no, these people insist on littering this, and they insist on separating us and putting us into these concentration camps of thought, where we don't tolerate each other. We don't cross each other. They will dictate to you. If you're black, then I want the black experience as I dictate it to be in the art that you ingest. All right, so when you get something like 007 and you have Lashana Lynch talking about, I want this to reflect the black experience, that's not what this is about. This is about having imagination and taking yourself other places. How else can you encourage visionaries out there? How else can you encourage imagination in your communities, whether it be black or anything else like that? If you just keep putting them in this box and you dictate to them, who is it that defines what the black experience is? My black experience is going to be different than Lashana Lynch's, but she wants to say it's got to be 100% the black experience. That does not even exist. All right, so that's what you have here. All right, so when you go on to Twitter and you look at the responses that Pedro Pascal has got, for what he posted, because I got to tell you, what set this off is that Ichibaka, our own friend Ichibaka, saw what he wrote. Ichibaka, ain't nobody going to get away from him. He's like that beacon, man. He will find you wherever you are, He turns on his heart light, and he goes. All right, so he wrote about it, on his blog, and I will leave the link to that in the description box below. And our friend Ryan Kinnell of RK Outpost, he picked it up and did a video talking about it, because of course, when you post things like this, you're inviting not just people who are going to just clap like trained seals, but you're going to also get a critical response, which is what Ryan offered. And then of course, Stephanie from My Nerdy Home, she went and wrote about it on Twitter, and Pedro comes along with his passive aggressive self and decides that he's going to take his little snarky remarks and retweet it and everything. And then he ends up sending his thousands of followers after Stephanie, who is a sweet, gentle soul. As a matter of fact, Ichibaka, Ryan, Stephanie, I have interacted with these people. I've been on panels with these people. I've watched their videos. These are good people. They are of us. Good people trying to make a living, trying to live and be happy. But no, for some reason, these people think that they deserve to be attacked. All right, and so here comes the tidal wave. And let me get to some of the, things here. Of course, Geeks and Gamers, they put out an invitation to Pedro saying, we would love to have you on for a good-hearted discussion. Inbox us. Sounds about right to me. That's what good human beings do. It's an exchange of ideas. You don't have to agree with everything. You just don't have to be enamored with each other, but you can sit down and talk about your differences. I see that as positive. I don't know if he's going to take them up on that. It would be nice if he did, but somehow, I don't know. All right, so anyway, some of the, things here. It says, Pedro, will you be having conservative tears for breakfast? Oh, that's so funny, with a little lips emoji kissing his ass, It says, let me see. I love the smell of Nazi tears in the morning. They need to demonize everyone who thinks differently than they do. And like I said, that's a dangerous idea, to try to fertilize. You know what I mean? Because what comes from that is just the worst type of intolerance, where you will have, in America, people have to flee. It's bad enough people don't feel comfortable to talk to their own family members about their political thoughts and views, because they know their family members will say, you're dead to me, kind of like Marina Sirtis, from Counselor Troy, from Star Trek, when she found out that Kirstie Alley was a Trump supporter. She says, you're dead to me. I thought it was a joke. I was waiting for the punchline, but the punchline never came. This is the way people think. All right? It says here, I'm pretty sure they're only angry because something they like, Star Wars, has someone who doesn't agree with their toxic attitude. They don't want to see their favorite things turn against them. Too bad, though, because being racist is terrible. Star Wars fan or not. Yeah, I agree with that, but why the fuck are you putting it on this? That's not who we are. You know what I mean? But instead of talking to people, they want to talk at them. And that's where this comes in, because now they can be manipulated by the powers that be. And this is how you know that these entertainers in Hollywood are on the tape, because not one of them feel free enough to be able to say something to the contrary of this without finding themselves a victim of the latest cancellation that's out here. All right, so somebody else goes on, and where is it? I just want to, because there's a lot of this stuff here. This is the way it is. Fuck Nazis, fuck the Confederacy, and fuck Trump. Okay. Let me see. If they weren't racist or neo-Nazis, they wouldn't have found your views offensive. I don't find it offensive. I find it dangerous. Okay, pay attention. All right, here's Pedro enjoying a cup of tears, blah, 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 blah. And where is it? Make Nazis afraid again. And I'm looking for one in particular where they call Pedro a king. All right. And they, basically they're calling him a king. And I've noticed that, they do that with him. They do that with Ryan Johnson. And like I said before, kings are dictators, so that's basically what they want. They want a dictatorship. And they might say that that's a little bit harsh, but look at the way that you're presenting yourself. No tolerance whatsoever for a difference of thought. And it is very, very dangerous. And guys, before the video goes too long, I'm going to wrap it up. But I think I've made my point here. I just want to remind people to take a deep breath, and to think about where we're heading here. Think about what we're teaching our kids. I refuse to teach my child to be so intolerant of other people's ideas, to be so threatened by other people's ideas where he would want to just have them silenced. Let it be a challenge to you in the way you think. You don't have to agree, but let it be a challenge to at least think about what other people are doing. It just reminds me of, that Star Trek, like I said before, where Kirk just presses a button and the person just vanishes. That's how we are today in the way that we communicate with one another. We just want to shut people up. If we could, we just get them out of here. And like I said before, there's a great danger in that. And there's a great danger in small channels like mine, because I just don't give a crap. I'm going to say how I feel. I will always say how I feel. And, I don't go by a script, so that's dangerous to people that you never do get to see. All right. So anyway, guys, that's how I feel about that. You can get in the comment section. Let me know, how you feel about all of this. And once again, I want to give my support to Ichibaka. I want to give my support to Ryan Kinnell. I want to send my support out to Stephanie. You guys stand strong. We stand strong together. We're the Fandom Menace, and we're right-thinking people. So what's right is right. What's wrong is wrong. We don't all have to agree, but we definitely have to value what we have here in a free society. It's very, very important. So I will say to all of you, thank you for listening. Like, share, subscribe. Catch me on Twitter. I'll leave the link to that in the description box. As a matter of fact, I'm going to leave the link to Ichibaka, Ryan's channel, to Stephanie's channel, and of course my channel. All right, guys. So I'll catch you on the next one. This is The Gospel According to Mark with a C. Be careful out there and rock on.